to the Dual Force, where mental health and physical health finally stop being treated like strangers.
This is a podcast we wish we had earlier in our lives, built to save you time, confusion, and a whole lot of unnecessary struggle. This is a disclaimer. This podcast is here to educate, empower, and spark insight, but it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health care. Everyone's body and mind are different. If something resonated with you and you want individualized support, reach out to us or connect with a licensed provider you trust.
Welcome back!
This is so fun.
We are so excited to do a second episode and that you're here with us still. Please stay.
Continue to come back. We've got lots and lots to share, a lot of information, lots of giggles, obviously,
Always.
and fun.
Yes. And today we're talking about goal setting, intentions, resolutions. I know that most people associate resolutions with the first of the year in January. Although I feel like a lot more people have been talking about Lunar New Year this year versus traditional calendar New Year.
Yeah, I have noticed that actually, and I've seen a lot of like decorations and whatnot inside of like the stores and stuff this year too. So that's interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah. I like it because I like the thought of we're starting the year with things starting to come back, like nature, trees and grass is growing, tulips are my favorite.
Yeah. You know, I love the idea of people leaning more into a soft version of themselves now too, with bringing back nature or just being introduced to it, and really finding themselves and being comfortable in the space that they're in and growing within that.
I love that.
Right.
Well, I know both of us have written blog posts around the new year, talking about resolutions and goal setting.
Yeah.
Do we want to start with some definitions?
Yeah.
I think it's important.
I'm going to start with the intention one.
Let's do it.
So intentions are a purpose. It's our purpose that drives us to create an intention in order for us to be able to goal set. So what is it that feels right in ourselves? What have we been exposed to that we're trying to figure out for ourselves and create a purpose with? So I think intention's a really good one.
Absolutely. And resolutions have a lot of weight.
They do.
In our society in particular. So the definition that I found on Webster's dictionary, because we're really getting nitty gritty with this, is the act of finding an answer or a solution to a conflict, a problem, etc. So we're looking to problem solve or conflict resolution. Is kind of those examples there.
Yeah. That's good. And I think that we can relate in our own unique ways with that definition too, because it does carry a lot of weight.
Yes.
Okay, what is it that what intention, what resolution am I going to set for myself this year?
Right. But then I also it's talking about problem solving. But what if it's not actually a problem and it's just something you want to improve on?
Yeah.
I think that those words have power. We both know that.
Yes.
So if we're saying that we're making a resolution, we're saying that there's a problem we're trying to fix.
Right.
And then it feels extra heavy when we don't stick to that resolution in the first month.
Yeah.
And because I think most people are done by the 13th of January.
Yeah.
They're definitely done by the time this airs.
I was just looking at what date it was.
Yeah,
I think we're done with New Year's resolutions.
100%. Yes. So then we're not solving a problem that we've made up in our own head.
Right.
So what does that do to our psyche and our ability to make lifestyle changes moving forward?
Right. Yeah, and it's, I think what makes sticking to a resolution a little bit easier is noticing and recognizing that there are going to be steps to get to that point. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy running to my goal because I want to get to it. It's there for a reason. I set that intention. I want to be there already. And sometimes I'm going to fall flat on my face because I'm missing all the steps in between and not acknowledging them, not appreciating the accomplishments that go along this goal that I'm trying to achieve.
Absolutely. It makes me think of back when I worked in insurance-based physical therapy clinics, we had to set goals to prove that what we were doing was helping and what we still needed to work on for coverage. But something that was very interesting is, like you said, like we have these big goals and we want to get back to a prior level of function, period. That's what everybody wants.
Right.
But we can't just like start physical therapy in a plan of care with that being our only goal. We have to have smaller, achievable goals leading up to that to help us get to that goal, to show that we're making progress.
Right. Yeah.
Which is so annoying. But it makes sense.
Because we want to race to it. We want to get to that goal.
And I also looked at the definition to goal setting. And we got it from the Cambridge English Dictionary, if you want to look it up. So goal setting is the process of deciding what you want to achieve or what you want someone else to achieve over a particular period of time. But how do you set a goal?
That's a very interesting question. How do you set a goal? Personally, I think it goes back to that intention, right? Okay, I have this desire to want to do something. How do I get to that? You know, so and then with recognizing the steps that we need to take in between, you know, we can set those goals, more achievable goals, right?
Right.
Achievable and measurable. Think school.
That's important. I was like, we'll get there.
We need to measure them too.
Yes.
So yeah, but everyone's goal setting is different. You know, there are going to be people who are just like, well, I'm going to just make it happen, you know, by the skin of my teeth.
Right.
Okay, but what if you can't? What does that do to your mental well-being when you get to that point and you feel like your expectation is here and you made it this far?
Yeah, it makes me think of, again, going back to my schooling for setting goals for insurance companies. We always use SMART acronym. I just had to Google it.
Yep.
That's okay.
Dr. Google.
It's okay because I know what I'm looking for.
That can be true.
And when my goal says it's cancer, I have some knowledge to know that it's not. Fair warning.
Think of that.
So we have to, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So this is how we can set small goals and achieve them, but we can stack them to get to that big overarching goal.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
Have you never heard of that?
I feel like I have, but it's been a really long time since I've thought about it.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
It's only been a couple of years since I was in insurance-based PT, so
It's still here.
it's
They really
there.
added that for you.
Just a little drama.
Something we can work through later.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to start. If you have clear expectations and intention, and then you can write it out and you have deadlines for yourself. I think it's so helpful to see the progress instead of just having this big goal and going balls to the wall and then crushing and burning and then just giving up completely.
Right.
With that all or nothing mindset.
Yes. Yeah. That's obviously not helpful. What are your thoughts about we have a set goal in place, but we either reach our goal before the date or we recognize that what we try to achieve or the date that we try to get to is not quite achievable? Is it okay to reevaluate these SMART goals and be able to
Absolutely.
do that? Okay.
I think we are adaptable as a species, but we love comfort
Yeah, we do.
and deadlines.
Yeah.
And so when we don't reach those, it feels really scary. That's
That's
your
go.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But then going back to doing PT goals, there were often times that we would make, this is a very easy one. So when I worked in home health, working with geriatric population, medically complex, all the things, I would set a balance goal. And I'd say maybe 50% of the time, we actually meet that goal at the time that I set it. Which I always loop in who I'm working with, be like, hey, so this is the goal that we'd set when we started together. This is where we're at today. Do you think you could do any better, or do you think we need a little more time? But I think we should have that conversations with ourselves with our own personal goals.
Yeah.
Because we are adaptable. And just because we're not making a goal on an arbitrary timeline that we created for ourselves doesn't mean that we still can't meet it later on.
Exactly. That's so true. I mean, I totally agree with that. And I encourage, a daily check-in with where you're at, and if that goal is so important for you to achieve, check in differently about where that goal is for you today.
Right.
Versus tomorrow might be completely different in yesterday. Obviously, it's different than today, too.
So unfortunate, but so.
Yesterday, we may have not made any progress towards the goal that we wanted, but that's okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah, we don't have to be constantly working towards something, which is something that I feel I've been working on more in the last year. Of like, I can just be.
Yeah.
I don't have to be working towards a massive goal right now.
Right.
And that's okay.
It's totally fine.
On this round, I like the daily check-ins or like more frequent check-ins. What are your thoughts on motivation?
For self or someone else providing us with motivation? Or both?
Whatever comes out first.
I think that a lot of people believe motivation is very difficult, and I think that sometimes people confuse motivation with the need for validation as well when it comes from somebody else.
Yep.
So it's a lot of people might feel stuck in their beliefs, right? Or feel stuck with, how do I continue to reach this goal because I'm not feeling motivated to do so. And sometimes we need to lean on somebody and to say, you got this, you can do it. Right. But that's we need to look at that differently than validation.
Yeah, it's like almost more accountability than just validating that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. It goes back to that idea of the check-in. Okay, where am I on this journey that I'm embarking on? Is it okay for me to take a step away from it, reevaluate, and then continue? Do I need to check in with a friend to see, just to gain perspective of what their beliefs maybe are about this if I'm feeling stuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so encouraging to feel motivated to do something, and to actually like do it.
Right.
To just be done with it. Like, yes, I did it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like our motivation spikes with changes in our routine or definitely around the new year. Like we get through the holidays and everybody's like, I'm so motivated to go to the gym every day. And then I see them a month later and they're hurt because they weren't ready for what they were doing.
Right.
Which is okay. We have to learn, but we need to learn.
Yes. Yes.
We're going to take in all this information and learn from it. Okay.
Love it.
But it's also, motivation is self-generated. It's not something that can be handed to us.
Right.
Even if we're getting the validation externally, we still have to have a desire to meet that validation.
Exactly. Yeah, we do.
Do you have any smart words on that from a mental health perspective?
Well, I have lots.
I love it.
I do. I'm just an idea that just popped in my head too is like, well, how much does that build confidence with the person as well? When you feel motivated to get something done and you are working towards that goal, not necessarily complete it, but to reach each step and acknowledge that along the way. That builds a lot of confidence within a person.
Absolutely. And I think acknowledging it along the way is key.
Yeah.
Because we can get so wrapped up into what we're doing and striving for that we forget to celebrate our small wins.
Those are so much bigger than that big goal.
Well, yeah, because we have so many more small wins than we do achieving giant goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And how well do you get to know yourself when you get to accomplish such tiny goals? To make it to that big thing that you're trying to achieve.
So much.
Yeah.
So much happens in those little steps.
Yeah. Like, I was reflecting on this earlier this week too, just with my personal recovery and just wanting to run again. Like, that is my big goal. I want to run again. But I know that I can't do that right now. I know that I need to strengthen, my foot. I know that I need to stretch. I know that I need to do all these other things in order to get to that goal of running. And I need to be patient with myself in order to make it there too. And acknowledge again that there's steps that I need to take.
Right. And patience is so hard to create. Especially with like the instant gratification of our society. Especially since the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Our attention spans are shortened and we just want things right away. And healing is not something you get right away. I don't care how many gadgets or pills or anything you take, it's still going to take time.
Absolutely. And I know that you see that within your work too. And I can only imagine the amount of patients that come in with this urgency to just feel better and to get to that place where they once were.
Absolutely.
You know, and I can only imagine how much it probably breaks your heart too. Like, I want that for you also. But I'm realistic and we need to measure these goals.
Right. Absolutely. And it's so funny because I had a client today and this is the first time that they have been consistent coming to see me. The first 2 times I saw them, it was a week before they had a half marathon and they were like unable to run a mile because their hip was hurting so bad. And that first day I was like, hey, do you have any of like a list of pelvic floor symptoms? And they're like, no, I think it's fine. Now we're doing pelvic floor rehab. And it's always full circle. Like, but it has to be your choice that you're actually ready and willing to invest your time and money into it. Even in my own recovery from my ski accident that I had 5 weeks ago, I've definitely hit a plateau, and I know it's because I haven't actually taken time to rest. And I knew that was going to happen. But at the same time, I'm very frustrated. And you're allowed to be.
You're allowed to be frustrated. It's not fun to hurt yourself and to feel like you've plateaued, you know, when you're trying to do stuff.
Absolutely.
You're allowed to feel frustrated. You're allowed to feel whatever you need to feel.
But also be aware of the facts and know how things are supposed to. Like there's a right way to go about healing, and then there's a realistic way about going about healing.
Right.
And then there's the way that you're just trying to do it as fast as possible, and it ends up being 3 times as long. Like,
yes. Exactly. And you still got to go back.
Yes.
And redo all the things.
Yeah. Once you decide you're going to do it the right way,
Right.
or the realistic way, then you just got to start all over. So maybe just start there.
Little tidbit of knowledge, little nuggets of knowledge for you.
The pro tip. So, and it's also funny, another physical therapy perspective on goal setting and motivation and all that. My cousin is going to Disney with her kids in less than 2 weeks.
Fun.
Super excited, right?
Of course.
But it's winter right now. And she's up in the Northeast, so they've been getting pounded with snow, whereas like us in Colorado have been just having a very prolonged spring. I mean, a fall.
Something in between.
Right, something there. So she has been a lot less active. And she literally was talking to me yesterday. She's like, I think I should start working out because I feel like Disney's really gonna hurt. And I was like, oh, Disney's gonna hurt. But I think less than 2 weeks of being active is not really gonna do much for you. With the knowledge that our muscles take a minimum of 6 weeks to gain any strength. It takes 5 days to lose it all. 6 weeks to start gaining strength back.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Thank you. Knowledge bomb.
Thank you.
There's another one for you. Our nervous system feels stronger muscularly at 4 weeks. So at 4 weeks, you start to feel like you're stronger, but you're not actually stronger per the research until about 6 weeks. And then you need continued consistency moving forward to maintain and get stronger. So from a recovery perspective, if you injure yourself, our brains are going to protect us from further injury by turning those muscles off.
Yeah.
Just another whole problem. And if we try to work through the injury like I am with my wrist, don't do as I do as I say, then we are going to perpetuate a problem without correcting movement patterns and strengthening in the way that we should, which can prolong pain and can lead into the chronic pain cycle, which I'm sure we'll get to in another episode. But circle us back around to motivation. I think if we have this knowledge of how long recovery is or how long it takes to gain strength and build routines, it's easier to maintain progress on a goal.
Right.
And not have this crash and burn after a New Year's resolution before the first month is up.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. That's not even enough time to feel stronger, like you said.
Exactly.
You know, it's you're falling short before you can see the progress. It's like you're right there. You are right there.
It's just like this story, I cannot remember where it's from, but like this guy that was digging for gold during the gold rush, and he was digging and digging, and he was running out of money and not getting anything, and he was literally right there. If he had just dug like another day, he would have hit the mother lode.
Yeah.
Someone else came in after he left and found it.
Gosh. So he did all the work as
Yes.
that person.
Yep.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's what we see all the time when people are working towards goals, especially physical goals. From my perspective anyway, is like you're working, and then you have an injury because you weren't fully like connected to your body and like what you were doing with clear expectations and training, or you just lose motivation.
Yeah.
But you were so close. Because I think they say, 6 weeks to develop a habit, 12 weeks to actually have one.
When you say that loud, it seems lengthy. Like it seems like it's so far away. How quickly does 6 weeks? That goes by so fast.
It goes by so fast.
It really does. And I think that a little piece that might be missing for some people too is that motivation for self to continue to go, to keep going, in like reframing their belief system of when they get to week 4, and they say, I can't do this. Well, yes, you can.
Right.
You know, but how can you make it a little bit easier for yourself? What can you do in between week 4 to week 6 that might be a little bit more encouraging to get to that place that you're trying to get to?
Well, and I think having more regular check-ins is also important. And just like our healthcare system, we view things so separate and segregated from other things in our lives, but everything impacts our lives.
Yeah.
So being aware of like different events happening, or if you have kids, a spouse, anything that could be impacting how you manage your time, and being adaptable to changing your schedule routine that you're trying to create,
Right.
without having like, okay, well, if I miss one day working out, like I'm not going to do it tomorrow. Be like, well, I can move it to tomorrow, or I can do it in 2 days, or maybe I can do back-to-back days rather than having 1 or 2 days between. That's what creates consistency and a habit rather than trying to do it perfectly every week.
Yeah, and that's a whole other topic that we can get into too.
We have a lot to talk about.
We sure do. Just one thing leads to another, which is perfect. We love that, right?
Perfect.
But we actually don't love perfect. It's okay to not be perfect.
It's a lot more fun to be imperfect.
It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. It is.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to talk about? Intentions, motivation, goal setting?
I think the last little bit that I want to share is just be mindful of your intentions, right? What's driving you to it? Is it brought up because society is pushing you in that direction? Or is this really coming from you and it's something that you want to accomplish? Utilize SMART goals.
Yes.
That's amazing. I love that so much. And it's something that's easy to remember. And it is, there's that measurable part of it as well, where we can continue to go back to, like, okay, how am I getting this? Where am I at this goal?
Right.
And check in with yourself and ask for help when you need it. It's totally
1,000%. To kind of circle this out with, like, from a PT healthcare perspective of using SMART goals, I had to check them every visit. So at least once a week. And then we always did a reevaluation after 4 weeks. So I think setting goals that about 4 weeks feels comfortable for me. 4-week goals, and then if you need a little extra motivation to do like a 2-week goal, and like check in a couple times during the week with yourself, and if it's still aligning or if you need to change what you're doing, like reprioritize your time.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Love it. Yeah. So it fits like your personal schedule, and because we're ever adapting.
Yes.
And we have so many things to do, and it's constantly changing. Like it's okay that your goal setting changes along with that as well.
Absolutely.
So, love that.
And I love, this was from my blog post, but I went from like all or nothing mindset, which is what we've talked a lot about, and all this adaptation. I titled it the persistence mindset, because you're persisting through all the changes and things that happen in everyday life to still achieve the goal or lifestyle change that you're looking for.
Right.
Which I think is so powerful and exciting.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Do you think it would be okay to maybe include like a PDF of the SMART goals for our listeners to have?
So we'll definitely put it in like the show notes or something, and then I think linking both of our blog posts to have a couple different perspectives on and advice on that would be really helpful.
Perfect.
Hey, see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to The Dual Force. Your mind and body are always in conversation, whether you notice it or not. Start listening. And if today's episode sparked something in you, pass it along to somebody who needs that reminder.